Hey everyone, so in my last video you may have seen that I had a simple animation where I had a disc with a hole in it and a pin that went into that hole. So you may be wondering, how do you do those kind of animations? So in this video I'm going to show you the basics so you can try it out yourself. So to start with, we're just going to delete this cube. Now go add, mesh, cylinder. Now here on the lower left you see add cylinder. And we're going to change this cap fill type to be nothing. What that will do is make the cylinder hollow so it has no top and bottom. Next we can go into edit mode and we're going to scale this by pressing the scale button. Let's bring it out here. Now we're just going to press this selection mode to be faces only. Then we're going to press E to extrude, and then we're going to escape out of that. And now we're going to scale that extrude inward, like so. So now comes the fun part. We can go into object mode, and where you see this upside down triangle, click on that button. Let me just bring this out a little bit more so we can see what's going on. And we're going to add what's called a shape key. Now this initial basis is basically recording the shape of the object as it is right now. And we're going to turn off this relative, otherwise this is not going to work correctly. Let me scroll this up here so we can see the timeline. We're going to need that a little later. Now over here by shape keys, we have the initial state. To add a state, just go here to the shape key specials. It's a drop down. And we're going to select new shape from mix. Now we can change the shape in edit mode. So we're just going to scale, let's just scale this in a little bit more, like that. Go to object mode, and we see that it's still at that original state we had before we just changed it. That information is stored in key 1. It's just, right now the evaluation time is at 0, and key 1, its evaluation time is at 10. And so if we change this evaluation time, you see how it changes there? So we have everything we need to make this animation. So to record this position here on the timeline, we have what's called keyframes in Blender. So go over here to evaluation time and select this keyframe. It's a little tiny button. See it turn this yellowish color. That means the keyframe is applied. And if you go over here to the timeline, you also see that keyframe applied. So let's go to, I don't know, somewhere around frame 100. The evaluation time is still at 0, but let's change that to 10. Okay, you see on the screen that you have that smaller diameter hole. But the keyframe is not applied yet. To apply that, just click over here on the side. And you can see that keyframe also on the timeline. Now when we go to animate this, we see it changing. That's pretty cool. Now something that you might notice is that the cylinder is not very smooth. It kind of has all these flat sections all the way around. So when we render this later on, it would be nice if we could just smooth this all out a little bit. That's totally possible in Blender, and we can do that through modifiers. So go over here to modifiers, and then just select add modifier. And the first thing we're going to need to add is this edge split. That's going to preserve the edge for the next modifier that we add. So add modifier again. I'm going to search subdivision surface. Select on that, and you already just saw there, it changed a little bit. Now watch what happens. Watch carefully here what happens when I increase this value. It gets more and more smooth, which is pretty cool. The smoothing is applied to the viewport, but the smoothing is not applied to the render here. yet, so we'll make sure to also increase this value. There, look at that, that's very, very smooth. Okay, so we just learned how to transform an object in Blender and animate that transformation. How about actually moving the object? So if we have a pin that is out of frame that we want to bring into frame in this animation, how do we do that? Well, let's go over here to add, and we're going to add another cylinder. And you see that the cylinder here is still hollow. In this case, we don't want a hollow cylinder. We want it filled on all sides. So now just select this cylinder here, and I'm going to press G for grab and then Z for the Z direction. I'm going to bring it up here like so. Now let me just go to the camera view. Yeah, it's well out of frame. So we can key now the position of this pin, where it is right now in the timeline, and also key its final position in the timeline. And then run that animation, and it should go from its initial state, where it is right now, to its final state at where we set the keyframe. So let's do that. I'm going to put this timeline all the way to 1. I'm going to select this object button, and you see here, Z, I'm going to add a keyframe. Okay, so you see on the timeline this keyframe was applied, and so its position in space at this specific frame is recorded on the timeline. So now let's just go to frame 100 again, and we're going to grab this cylinder here using key G and Z and move it down to where we want it. Let's just move it right about there, and we're going to record a new keyframe. Okay, now let's see this all in action. That's pretty cool. Now with what I just showed you, you can do quite a bit. You can make some really cool animations. Something that I didn't cover is how to light your scene and also how to apply materials to your objects. But I can talk about those things in a later video. Well, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. And also, I would love to hear what you have to say. Is there a video that you would like to see or a problem that you have that you would like solved? Let me know in the comments. I'll catch you later.